And we are back with more Everlasting Summer. So obviously the last part I put up was a little bit comical towards the end, but I mentioned that she's kind of like that type of character anyway. So it's getting interesting though. Uh, I have nothing to do with that place. Though the nurse seemed quite caring, it's better to keep a distance from her. Such benevolence is actually scary. She may know something, but I just hadn't the courage to enter the infirmary. Moreover, I had no reason to. Not a single one. Immersed in my own thoughts, I didn't notice the nurse who was standing on the porch. Hi there, Pioneer. She came closer. You must be sick. Did you come for medicine? No, no. I was just wandering around. Oh, a truant, I see. But if you're here, I have a serious task for you. I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy, and it sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully. You both will help me to make an inventory of the supply of medicine which arrived today. Both? Who are we? Perhaps I misheard. But what word could be confused with both? Hi again. Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange that I had noticed her until now. Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lena. She will tell you what to do. Medicine, supplied today. But Olga told me that no bus would arrive in the next couple of days. So there were visitors to our camp today? Yes, they arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking? It'd be funny if we could actually see who these people were, but since they're probably not important, we don't get to see them. Just curious. Alright then, Pioneer. So tonight, after dinner, you'll be here. Maybe I... Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja. I could do it on my own. Strange. She seemed more spirited during lunch. No way. There are lots of boxes. And a pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, Pioneer? Good lord. She gazed at me and smiled menacingly. That's not a menacing smile. It's more like, I have something for you and you're gonna do it. I have a job for you kind of thing, right? I don't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and also I've got more important things to do. I really should be skipping this, but since I'm already reading it anyway, might as well continue. But rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing here, I would definitely think my way out. Yeah, we're not gonna come for this. And again, it's funny how they use Russian here because they expect me to be able to read this, but I can't. But I do have what is translated though, which is kind of funny on that. So I'm actually going with this Russian here, whatever it says. Maybe I shouldn't have lied to her. Let's skip here, because I can care less. Nurse asked you to help tonight. Yeah. So this is like the third time now that when it came to doing a choice for Lena here, it was against her. I should go take a look. Who cares? I better keep on looking for answers. Now this one, let's see. Yeah, like Slavia, this is kind of similar to her, but different though. So let me make another save here to overwrite that last one. And we're gonna continue to look for answers. As if he's gonna find them though. However, whoever that is, what's the big deal? I have better things to do. I came back to the leader's cabin. Olga was lying lazily on her bed and reading a book. Oh. Semyon, what are you doing here? That's what I could ask her too. I've forgotten something. So I came back. You were absent at the lineup. Oh yeah, I apologize. Alright. Nevertheless, you should do something useful today. Just as I planned. But I have my own vision of what useful means. Like, you could go to the square to help with the cleaning. Slobby is in there, is in charge there. Strange, I just been there and hadn't seen anyone. Or you could visit the boys at the electronics club. They asked me for a hand. Those fathers have been mentioned again. Finally, you could help at the sports club. What are they up to? They're renewing the pitch, fixing the benches, changing the goal nets, and so on. Honestly, none of those options suited me. Well, you're going to the one I'm going to put you at. Why is she always trying to burden me with work? I don't know. Maybe she... It's a good question on that one, though. I said before, you matter in this game. It's like, because the game says we have choices, so your ass is getting to work. I don't know. I probably wouldn't blame him. I'd probably be the type that wouldn't want to get involved with anything either. I don't know. I'm not nearly that much of an antisocial, but I'm not necessarily a chatterbox either with people either, you know. It's like, how many people go up to somebody and say, you know what, let's be friends? I don't think it works like that, does it? Some people it might, you know. If you're a pretty girl, you might have better luck than most of us guys out there. I don't know. Girls seem to have a little bit easier making friends than I would say guys do. But it depends, you know. You know, every one of the leaders' attempts to keep me busy seems to serve only one purpose: to prevent me from finding out my current location. Really, all the deep and vital questions concerning my existence are swept away by a broom, together with all the rubbish and litter. In my case, taking some time to work would probably pay off, but just like someone suffering gangrene and rejected an amputation, I would stand by my beliefs. Good lord. Where did this word come from, Simeon? Gangrene. This guy's got a vivid imagination, I gotta say. It's like, when I come to thinking, my mind is usually blank a lot of times. Like, I don't know. Although they do say, like, there's like thousands of words that float through your mind. There is, but are you thinking every single one of those things that come to your brain? Probably not, though. It's like, you think of certain things, right? But it usually doesn't always come to you. You know, I already had my own arrangements. Oh, really? What kind of arrangements? She bucked up. Well, I can't just tell her what I'm really thinking about. On the other hand, why not? No, it's too dangerous. At least now I maintain a fragile balance and nothing is threatening me. Everything seems that way. Just as I thought. What exactly she thought remained secret. You probably have not yet realized how important it is to participate in social life. This is the only way to become a pioneer capable of being a role model. You know, I don't know if being a pioneer has anything to do with that. But I mentioned, though, yeah, I'm not much of a social bug either, like that, though, in terms of like, okay, am I literally going out of my way to kind of do that? What's the goal here? Like, it's to make friends. Oh, man. That was always kind of a chore to do, wasn't it? I didn't want to sit through another long lecture, so I decided to accept one of the offers. Sometimes the answers in this world can be found in the most unexpected places. Or at least so I wanted to believe. So, should I choose for you? No, I'm good on that one. For all you know, you'll probably put me with, I don't know, who knows on that one. Leader's voice turned authoritative. She usually thinks of Slavia a lot, so it'd be surprising on that one. I can do it myself, thank you. I mumbled and left the cabin. Although, the last time, you know, when I did her route, obviously, you guys recall, she thought he was seducing her. And I said, no such thing. They were both kind of getting close. And then she kept persisting that he was doing something to woo her. And I said, doesn't two play a part in that? Like, I like how they kind of threw that in there. But, I don't know. At the time when I saw that, it's like, my reaction was different on it. I don't know what this third one says. Maybe it has to do with someone else. I don't know. So, let me make another save here. Because, yeah. I don't want to have to come back to this. But we are going to the sports club, I think. Let's see. Where is day 3? Yep, we are going to do that. So, obviously, Slavia, I did the first time. So, we're not going to do that. I was hoping that I could escape the obligatory work if I pretended that I'm helping the sports club. They obviously have tons of members that could probably do just as well without a single extra pair of hands. However, I'd better visit the sports ground, at least to check it there. Just in case Olga finds out that her ideal pioneer slacks off and dodges community service. You never know. I can imagine worse punishment than a public telling off at a party gathering. That's kind of one of the reasons why I never wanted to join, like, when I was a kid, go into, like, Boy Scouts or do stuff like that. Because, yeah, the idea of constantly, like, running around doing this or that, and then somebody telling you what to do constantly thing, I don't know. Yeah, I probably couldn't do that. Because even though this isn't exactly a Boy Scout club or Girl Scout, because you have both guys and girls in this place, but still, that's what kind of comes to my mind when I think of this, how they go about this. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. It's like, you know, it's like a mixture of camp with a school. It's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit, but different at the same time. All of a sudden, I saw no ceiling, painting, or repairing but a football match. They were playing 5 versus 6. Ah. I took a closer look at the players and recognized Ulyana. Well, this is the first CG, outside of what we normally see of her. It's kind of interesting. And I have to get used to calling this football because, like I said, I'm in America, we're kind of used to the word soccer over here. So it's like, it's hard not to say that word. Although, when you think about the word too, it does sound a little bizarre for people from other countries. It's like, it's called soccer. No, it's not. It's called football. It's like, why are you arguing? It's soccer. It's like, when you think about it though, their explanation of explaining it sounds better than somebody in the States trying to explain what soccer is, because it's like, you really think about it though, foot to ball makes more sense. What is soccer? I have no idea. It's like, are you socking the ball? What's going on with that? You know what I mean? Because they say, well, we can't call it football here because our football is the one, where you throw the ball and, people catch it, make tackles, and, things like that. He scored touchdowns, right? The goal in this type of sport is different. You use your feet to move the ball. Although you can, and then your object is score a goal, obviously, kind of thing. But I don't know. Whoever came up with the term, to call it football, soccer here, obviously somebody had to come up with a name like that, because what else are you going to call it, here, since we already have a national sport called football. So obviously you would have to come up with a different name to describe it, the sport, I guess if even though I'm not born in, the UK and other places like that, I could actually relate to some people who kind of, when they hear the word, it's like, it just sounds bizarre, you know what I mean? It's like, because they're so used to that kind of name that it's like, calling it anything other than football is a kind of a weird term. Now, baseball is baseball. Like, that's a worldwide sport. So, America, Japan, and other places, that's also a recognized sport. But they don't change the name. That's the only sport I know of outside of basketball, are the only two sports I know of that doesn't change the name. But when it comes to a different type of football, which is what we call soccer here, even Japan, if you ever notice nowadays, they're actually starting to a little bit call it soccer. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Maybe they've picked up too much Western influence, I would say, on that. I don't know. But it's still recognized as football to them because But compared to the UK, though, it's less so. Like in Japan, it's like I wouldn't say that they're not they're westernized to a degree, but they still have their own thing. But at the same time, though, I noticed that Japan over the years has definitely incorporated more American influences into their you know sports names as opposed to what it usually would be called because you ever see certain animes out there, right? Even some VNs that I've played over the years, when they translate it to English, you'll see the word soccer sometimes. Now, the actual word into Japanese, since that word doesn't really exist there, it'd probably be a different word for it. But still, it's kind of funny how that works. I won't interfere, I'll just watch. The teams were obviously mismatched. One team consisted entirely of younger kids that looked around 12 years old. The other team consisted entirely of teenagers. Besides, they had one extra player, Ulyana. I'm guessing Ulyana is probably why they only need 5. Maybe there's like kids with her, and then she's like the one that's oldest out of the group, I'm gonna guess. And then there's 6 other kids, maybe. Ha! I don't know. Mind you, what can just one extra person, moreover one girl, do? Soon enough, I realized that I was mistaken. Ulyana had a good dribbling technique, cutting through the defenders one by one. Yeah, she's probably good at it. She obviously lacked teamwork skills, but they weren't even required at this level. She scored with invariable regularity. I came closer to the pitch. Hey, come and join us. The short one, man, on the team. I guess that's what counts as community service here. We've already finished everything, said Ulyana, sounding insulted. I looked over the sports ground again. The benches were freshly painted, new nets placed around behind the goals. How did they manage to get through all of this stuff? Come join their team. Well, given that I escaped the last time, I should indeed play now. How's this gonna go? You gonna fall on your ass kind of thing? Ball at the center. We start. Oh boy. With the very first touch, I put the ball into the top corner with a delicate strike. Actually, it wasn't that difficult. The pitch was at most 50 meters long, and a goalkeeper of the opposing team couldn't even reach the crossbar. You know what's funny is that our version of football here in other countries is considered rugby. It's kind of funny though. But rugby, since it's played a little bit different than how, the NFL, for example, how it's played, they only take a part of what rugby was, and then they add like other things to it. It's kind of weird on that. Sometime later, we tied it up despite our team being 7 or 8 goals behind at the start. I wonder if that's why American football doesn't really, there's no Olympics for it, because if you really think about it, football, like in the UK, which is, like I said, soccer, because I'm trying not to say the word, people that might be in the UK or that might watch this, but if you ever notice, it's a nationalized Olympic sport. It's one of the few that go into the Olympics. Although they only play certain teams though. But if you ever notice, no football, like in terms of an American's version of it, competes in the Olympics. You get basketball, you get baseball, you get, your track and field and so many other ones, right? Even soccer, which is the UK's version of football, it gets in the Olympics. But the American football is the only one I know of that does not play, like other, like Olympic teams. It's kind of funny like that. It makes you wonder, it's like, what is how popular, it makes you wonder how popular is football in terms of Americans' version anyway. Obviously, it's popular enough, but is it popular around the world? That's a good question. I don't really know on that. Maybe it could be. I don't know. Some of you guys could answer that question if you guys live in another country. I don't know. How recognized it is. I don't know. It's pretty recognized here. Yeah, I would say it's the most popular here. That's only because, That's all they talk about on the sports shows, besides other things. But I wish ESPN would talk about like hockey once in a while, or like they rarely ever do that, man. Like, and there's more to hockey than just the idea of two people getting in a fight. Most people, that's what they think when it comes to hockey, though. But there's more to it than that. More precisely, she scored. You couldn't say that she had Ronaldinho's tricks or precise Beckham's shots in her pocket. She would just kick the ball into open spaces and coming up towards the goal, she just toe punted every time. But I actually never liked football, though. I was never really a football person. I'm talking American style, anyway. I don't know. It's just too. Everybody, it just seems like everybody says it's like the American pastime. I mean, I get it, because the idea you see people tackle one another and they make, do different things. I just find it boring, honestly. I do. I don't know. Like, I tried sitting down and, a few times with my dad. I just could never do it, though. I couldn't sit long enough to, like, get into it or anything like that, I don't know. But I was never really much of a sports person anyway. I could watch people play it. I just, like, seeing it live I'm talking about. But I'm talking, like, on television, though. I just couldn't sit long enough to, like, I've watched the World Series, though. That's actually kind of fun, a little bit. I've actually been to a few of those live. It's kind of interesting. But not since I was a kid, though, Certainly, I played better than all of them, and theoretically, I could have scored as many times as I wanted, but it seemed unsportsmanlike to me. Winning isn't everything. It's taking part that counts, isn't it? But after Ulyana's words, penalty shootout. The winner wins the game. I made up my mind that I won't want to lose. At the time, it was 11-9 in our favor, so it wasn't reasonable to object. Oh, 11-9. Why is this got this dot and that dot? It looks like you were looks like a time. I don't know. That threw me off. Here we go. I shoot. We switch then. One shot each. Yes. I stood at the line. Got ready. She took a run and set it straight into my hands. That's not fair. What's not fair? I'll shoot again. Okay, just do it. I said, smiling. The second shot would go better in rugby. And there's that word, rugby. One more time. Or am I thinking of a different sport when it comes to rugby? Maybe I'm off. I don't know. Is there kicking in rugby? I don't remember if there was. Absolutely not. She sniffed. But you should never score a goal against me. We'll see. I put a ball into the low right corner of our goal with a precise kick. Ulyana didn't even move. However, there was no point. Penalty kicks like that are uncatchable. Looks like I won. She answered nothing and just looked at me resentfully. I needed to lighten the mood. Don't get upset. I just... And that's when the music started playing, calling the Pioneers for lunch. Alright, I'll get even with you some other time. She laughed, waved her hand, and ran in the direction of the canteen. Okay. I juggled the ball a little and followed her. Wow, that was kind of an interesting scene back there, I have to say. And I learned a little bit of something. I always say, that's the thing about these games, is like they kind of make you think a little bit. Especially at the places where you come from, like me. It's like you read a lot of these and you realize a lot of games are made from other countries, and yet we're here, So when you read it, certain things, it's kind of like, even though you know that it's different in other places, it still kind of throws you off a little bit because you're so used to, like, words that where you're from is a certain way. I don't know. It's just kind of the way that is, Who is marching forward in a row? It is our pioneer squad. Pioneers in a row usually march to the canteen in the Soviet camp. I was looking for a place where no one would disturb me like what happened before, just so I could eat in peace. And for that, I have to at least not be the last one to come. But I was pretty sure whatever happens here happens, whether I wanted to or not. The canteen was crammed as full as a bag. As an egg, I mean. Olga was standing at the entrance, guarding it like a hawk. Well, Semyon, were you working hard today? Hard enough. Well done. Truly well done. And the hardest is yet to come. I just bet. Fine. Take a seat next to the girls. She pointed at the table next to the pillar. Slavia, Ulyana, and Lena were already sitting there. Not bad company. At least not the worst. I got my meal, went up to them. You mind if I sit here? I caught myself sounding a bit clueless. There were no other free places anyway. Yeah, of course not. Please do. Lena remained silent. You got nothing to say there. Today the meal consisted of a plate of borscht. I suspected there was some meat lurking in it, but I had no evidence. Some poultry, chances are chickenus, domesticus, with fried potatoes and a traditional glass of compote. I found myself liking the local food more and more. I guess I just came to the conclusion that I have no other choice, which means that there's no use in complaining. Thank God there's something to eat. Coming to the bowl tonight. I don't know. You'll come. You got nowhere to go. Ulyana said happily. You will come for sure. Of course. I can't miss the opportunity to watch you make a fool of yourself. Oh boy. This is where these two... Yeah, I kind of know where this scene's going to go because it's all too familiar. But I am going to be including a scene this time. If I have enough time. It depends. You know, I am coming close to the 30-minute mark, so I may not get to it this time. But there is something that's going to be coming with her, though, that I did not show the last time when I mentioned something, though. But it will be coming this time. Unless if I get to the next part. But either way, whether it's this part or the next, something will be coming. She got it right, so I decided not to reply. And what about you? I asked Lena. Yes? She replied briefly. See, you should go to them. Go to them. Said Slavia as if leave would be no choice. She's just asking you to go. She's not saying you have to go. It's more like, hey, you know, I'm kind of inviting you somewhere. I don't know. It's an offer, like, you know. Don't forget to wear your tailcoat. Tailcoat? Apparently, Ulyana was so pleased with her joke that she laughed out loud. Tailcoat. But I really had nothing to wear. My wardrobe was just a plainer uniform and my winter clothes, which would be inappropriate even in the evening. What? Alright, because they are in the summer, I forgot. And what will you be dressed in, entertainer? Secret. Will it be a little dress just like at a kindergarten's matinee? Ulyana turned red. Looks like I managed to offend her. When isn't she ever offended? This look is something she does a lot, does she? Oh, I will wear a biohazard. Come on, phone. I hate that. No, I will wear a biohazard suit just so I don't catch an infection from you. Infection. You know what's going on out there, this idea of this biohazard suit. Just think, you know, although there's some of you that come into this and we don't have the virus out there, just keep in mind of when I made this part. Like, you know, that's what's going on out there right now. We have some type of thing out there, right? Apparently, you can't mention the C word. I'm like, why is that? You know, it's like, everybody knows what it is, right? It's like, why is it you can't say the word? Is it because it came from a particular country? I don't know. I just kind of wondered on that. Not that I'm like Trump, where I'm just going to call it the China virus. I think that's a little bit much. But that is where it came from originally. I don't know. I mean, I think that some people don't like the idea of hearing that because then it makes it seem like only Chinese people have the disease and nobody else has it. That's not true because, but I always say it doesn't matter who starts what, you know, it can spread to anybody else. You know, Italy, I guess, from what I understand, has it the worst, though. I'm not really sure how those people got it over there, but it's kind of interesting on that. I wonder what kind of infection are you afraid of catching from me? Enough, You guys, don't squirm. Idiocy, of course. Looks like Ulyana was highly pleased with her. As she thought, brilliant answer again. You know, if you already have the flu, you can't catch a cold. Two can play at that game. What are you implying? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. I looked away shyly. Do you mean that? She went red again. I don't mean anything. Guys. Given that it was Lena who interfered, it probably really was time to stop. You're asking for it. You're gonna get it. Oh boy. What? You'll finally wise up. Look at this. Instead of replying, Ulyana grabbed her plate filled with force and tipped it over my head. She's got balls, I gotta say. The stuff that she does. I don't know. I think she's just the type. It's like, I could picture her in this camp, but at the same time, she doesn't exactly fit there, though, because it's like she's got, I wouldn't say it's like ADHD, but it kind of reminds me of somebody that is kind of like this a little bit. They have too much energy for you to kind of keep up with. And you don't really want to try to offend them, but they do certain things. And, yeah. They'd be kind of hard to deal with, type of thing, you know. This game ended unexpected finale. But with this guy, he never ignores anything. He could just easily, you know what, just put it off, ignore it, and just, you know, call it a day. But he kind of gives into this, and then, because she's just playing around, and then it just goes from where it goes, you know. Oh, you little, look at that. She jumped up and tried to run away. But this time, she won't get away. I grabbed her head. And now what? I can't just smash her head against the table. Obviously not. This pentamine lasted a few seconds. Suddenly, Ulyana skillfully grabbed a glass full of compound and splashed it in my face. Good lord. That had to sting. Depends on what's in that drink. That way, she managed to get free of my grip. I see. She dashed off towards the counter, and I chased her. This resulted in several flipped tables, a pile of smashed tableware, 5 pioneers, crumpled by various injuries and full exhaustion of both parties. A draw, sort of. A belligerent draw. With too much belligerence. Good lord. We stood before each other and breathed heavily. Tell me you won't behave like this again. And you. Olga Dmitrievna snuck up on us from behind. When you think about it, such a riot couldn't go unnoticed. Probably not. Well, are you satisfied with yourselves now? Her voice appeared to be calm, but I was sure she was about to explode. That doesn't look like a calm expression. And who's gonna clean up all this mess? Exactly what happened. Who? I'm asking you, who? Him! Look at that. Replied Ulyana with complete confidence. Her! I objected less confidently. Both. Oh boy. The camp leader brought a conclusive end to this ongoing argument. Surely I wasn't sure that my share of the blame was more than hers. It's equally the blame, I would say. She did kind of start it, but you could have easily ignored it, kind of thing. Although Ulyana didn't have a drop of guilt on her face. Beat it. I'm not cleaning. Ain't nobody got time for that. This is his fault. He started it first. Not really. I mean, you both played a part. You did say what you said to him, though. And then that just kind of escalated. I don't know. No, it isn't. Look at that. Oh, yes, it is. I'm not going to sort out all that nonsense. Send you. Go grab a bucket, some cloths, you know, that kind of stuff in the closet. And as for you. She looked at Ulyana with such a burning gaze that I felt a bit sorry for the girl. You. Start to pick up the broken tableware immediately. Olga took a deep breath and continued. You're nothing but trouble. How many times have I told you? Wow. I decided to skip the lecture and went to the closet that appeared to be near the exit. Suddenly, a perfect idea flashed in my mind. Why don't I just run away? Sure, Olga has caught us already, but I'm not the one to blame. Of course, I'm not that true pioneer she keeps talking about, but in comparison to Ulyana, anyway, she's the principal culprit. It's not like I have nothing better to do than cleaning up the mess here. I have to seek answers. The truth is out there, somehow flashed in my mind. And this is where I'm going to make a save. And also call it a part for now. And yeah. But it's getting interesting. So that baseball area back there, I mean not baseball, but the football part was kind of fun. And obviously this is going to lead to where I think it's going to go. So, okay. So we get to do the entire cleanup with Ulyana, plus the extra scene that I didn't show the last time would be included. So for, oh, I did not mean to skip that. Well, at least I saved it, so I just come back to where it was previously. Accidentally touched the damn screen. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, guys. So with that, I'll see you next time.